Why is it 60 degrees at Christmas time? We're supposed to have the snow. What is today? December 26th, and it actually only got up to like 55 today, I think. Maybe 60, 62. It's really hard to say. I've been kind of tired. Anyways, I'm tired. Tired of life. You know, it's the same old thing. Work, home, home, work. Work, home, work. You know how it goes. And I'm tired. I'm not nearly as happy in life as I used to be years and years ago. And it all changed probably 4 or 5 years ago when I was working cattle. Had a bull. I was technically a steer. Turned around the cattle chute and snapped both of my knees backwards. It damn near crippled me. They don't want to do surgery on it because the surgery sometimes leaves you worse off than if you just deal with what you got and roll on. Basically, walking or anything is what gets me. But I've noticed over the last 6 or 7 months that it's gotten way better. I'm not allowed to do anything in cattle pasture. No extreme hiking. And just be very careful off-road, so to speak. I actually have picked up about 40 pounds during the process. I need to get rid of that. Anyways, homesteading. I did a lot with homesteading 10 years ago. I piddled around with goats and pigs. Never really did anything with them. The goats, they never stayed. They always escaped. Pigs were a pain in the butt. Got rid of them. But chickens were my main thing. And rabbits. I did a lot of rabbits too. But I think with my chickens at my prime, I had over 1,000 birds. Some I ate. This bad boy around. Woo! Wide view. I had 1,000 birds, and that was for my meat birds, my egg birds, and I was certified to ship eggs and birds over state lines. I actually put incubators in my son's school every year in elementary and had them hatch. Sometimes they hatched chickens, sometimes they hatched quail, just kind of depending on what I was working with. I actually had, from about here down was my chicken coop. Well, I got a disease, some sort of respiratory disease in my flock, and you know, I'm not one to hide that stuff. I called the state. I said, hey, my birds are sick. This is the medication I've got. This is what I've got going on. Can you come look? They came and looked at it. And they said, yeah, it looks like respiratory disease. I don't remember what it was called. They said, unfortunately, you need to not sell birds, not trade birds. You're more than welcome to keep them and eat them. It's not going to hurt you. It just makes other flocks sick. So I went ahead and harvested several and actually culled the whole flock. They said give it a little bit of time because part of it was in the dirt. Or whatever was making them sick would stay in the dirt. And a new flock could scratch it up. They said wait at least 2 years. That's been like 5 or 6 years. No, it's been longer than that because I've been married almost 7. Time flies when you're having fun. Anyways, I'm back at it with my knees are doing way better. They have not been bothering me too much, comparatively speaking, over the last 6 months or year. I'm gonna get back into homesteading. I think the back of my shop is where I'm going to put chicken coop, so to speak. I usually don't do much of a run. I free range the birds. I always have. I mean, they've got acres and acres here that they can roam. But on the back of that building, do my chicken coop. I like having it there because there's electric, so for heat lamps and all that good stuff that I may or may not need. I've got to get this mess cleaned up. I'm probably not going to mess with it this year. Well, this year's only a week left, but come spring, biggest problem I ran into is our local dump is not allowing us to dump, and we don't have trash service out here, so I had some mattresses and stuff like that. I have dumped those in an undisclosed location legally to get rid of them. But I need to finish stripping that trailer down, decide what I'm going to do with that. The scrapyard, unfortunately, is only open when I'm at work. So I just keep tossing stuff on this trailer. I need to, at some point, get that off and get that sold so I can get that trailer empty. I want to get this stuff cleaned up. This is my son out here shooting. From like here to the edge was the little garden we had 2 years ago. We didn't do one last year. I'm probably going to double it this year. Probably going to come from right over here all the way down, all the way over to here. Food prices have gotten high, as I'm sure most of you all have noticed. I used to garden and can everything. I don't think Brittany has ever canned with me, but she's going to learn. Fruit trees, I'll show you those in a second. I might move those. I need to move a couple of them and put them down here. I had, when I first built the house here, I had a lot of clay back here. And my first garden sucked and it was horrible. Well, I screwed up and brought in 30,000 pounds of manure. Lots of farm acreage here that I can pull from. And tilled it all in. And this grass grows, this whole backyard grows like 3 times quicker than the rest of the yard. So I think what I'm going to do is put the fruit trees back here just for the pure fact that it's so fertile. I think they'll do really good. And I know there's good water here because I got the well. 3 or 4 years ago, we popped the cover on it. My brother and I dropped the depth thing in there to see, and it was only like 6 inches deep, which just doesn't seem right. I mean, it could have filled in, I guess, but I have a hard time believing it. You know, I've got some crap like this that I need to get cleaned up, left over from the bus and various projects. I tell you, the shed is in bad shape. It was actually a freebie I picked up off Facebook several years ago. I picked it up and brought it out here, and I've thought about moving it over and putting the chickens in there, but I don't know. It's actually packed full with the riding mower and all that stuff. That firewood I can get rid of. I don't burn anything with firewood anymore. This was my first Christmas tree, and Jackson backed over it last year. So I need to go ahead and get that stump out of here, get that leveled off. That little building's my she shed. I've actually turned that into more of a workshop And my shop I've turned into more of a barn, I guess you'd say. This tree right here, I'm going to try to move. This is a Kiefer pear. And another one right there. Because they're actually in the way if I'm moving equipment. I'm going to try to get them moved. I think I planted them last year, so I should be able to salvage them. I'm going to try, get them dug up, put in the backyard. These pear trees are broken, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut them down. Storm came through and took out the whole top. And I actually blame me for not keeping these pruned. You know, I thought about putting those trees in the front yard. I'm just limited on my space here. I'm trying to maximize what I can, you know, the most of it. You know, money's tight, and I'd like to get, you know, a load of gravel. This right here is why I didn't like the bus. I would have never made this in the bus. I would have just spun out. But the RV, I went up around the backyard and back around. Thing does tremendously better off-road than the bus ever did. Part of that was because it was really wet. The other part, the moles, got a ridiculous amount of moles back here. You break an ankle walking. You know, the last year or so, I've really tried to work on organization. Oh Lord, copyright infringement will nail me on that. You know, and some of this stuff, man, you just buy it, and then you lose it, then you buy it again. Before you know it, you got 57,000 screws here. A lot of this stuff was my father's, and I do still use it. You know, I've got a lot of hobbies, so I've tried to halfway keep it organized. I got rid of a bunch of stuff when I got the bus. You know, I got stuff I've been collecting, like these tanks. You know, what am I ever going to do with these? Nothing? I don't know. Need to get rid of them. I've tried to put some shelves in here. Of course, it's all jacked up with beds and stuff where I've been moving stuff around in the house. But it was nice having my saw up where I had to do some trim, keeping it set up so I could work along with it. Something else I got to do is change these steps. My old Dutchy Poo is having a very hard time getting up and down them. I'll actually change them. You'll come out right here. Go to the right, you'll have steps which will lead you out. Left will be a ramp that leads into the backyard. But I want to get that done for her. Plus, when I put the steps going down, it'll give me a place to put a handrail up. I need to get some grass seed out here. Get it seated up where the bus has been parked. You know, and that's it. I think it's just time for me to get back with food prices, what they're doing. You know, crap's getting ridiculously expensive. I need to start eating healthier, try to get some of this weight off. Now that I'm able to get up and walk around, and I've got Jackson to help me, you know, I think we can rock and roll with it. It's just a matter of doing it and getting it done. You know, I decided months ago that this channel was going to be about a little bit about everything. David's doings. It's what I do. You know, and I do lots of stuff. I like melting metals. I like electronic repair. I like vintage electronics. You know, I like RVs. I like buses. I like junk. I like building crap. But nothing looks better than a clean, organized, and functional, you know, homestead, for lack of a better word. I think my yard's 2 or 3 acres here, and I think that it'll be good. It'll be nice, you know, out here living the dream, so to speak. I got the room for it. I might as well utilize it and go from there. So you guys be good and be safe, and I guess look forward to some homesteading videos along with my electronic stuff and my RV stuff and whatever else stuff is on my channel. So we'll catch you guys next time.